Welcome to the run-in on BT Sport. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. And as we head into a new year, and let's face it, judging by the last two, who knows what's going to happen. But one thing we do know is that we won't have to wait long for WWE's first big pay-per-view of the year, as we have the first ever edition of Day One. We'll be hearing from Liv Morgan later ahead of her big match with Becky Lynch at the event. But of course, I need to introduce you to the run-in regulars, Jinny and Trent 7. Trent, I've got to talk about those belts behind you, those titles behind you. You are looking incredibly blinged up.
Thank you. It's been a nice finish to a pretty tough year. But yeah, here it is, the little shiny boy there. And then obviously coming through with these incredible high-quality replicas from that time when we sold out the Royal Albert Hall and won the NXT Tag Team title. So that is right, you are speaking to the first ever and only, including Tyler Bate, tag team to win NXT and NXT UK tag team titles. Ooh!
Jinny, I need to see some gold next time we do one of these run-ins.
Yes. Oh, 100%. It's well overdue. 2022. So you never know.
Easter. Let's do it.
Exactly. We said it last time on the last show. It's the year.
All right, let's get on to this Day One event. Let's start with the enormous match, the Raw main event, the big one, literally with four large men: Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. This is going to be one of those ones where in my head I'm seeing a ring breaking.
Big boys.
Yeah.
Big boys in that ring.
I have to say, this is an interesting one because recently there was talks about, is Kevin Owens going to leave? Is he going to step away from WWE? You know, has he had his time? And he's had a fantastic career so far as well. So this match, the fact that he's renewed his contract and in this big match as well, I think the odds are in his favor.
Yeah, it's great seeing Kevin Owens back in the title scene. He's had a bit of a change of attitude. He's back to, personally, the way I like to see him. You know, the worst man you will ever meet.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair way of describing it. And this isn't a match with Seth Rollins in his suit. Kevin Owens, when he's in this mood, when he's chasing titles, when he's the bad guy, Kevin Owens, he is so entertaining and such. I'm trying to think of a PG way of saying it, but a real piece of garbage.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
definitely.
It's almost like anything at any cost, isn't it? When he's in this kind of frame of mind. But yeah, off the back of renewing that contract, he goes straight into Madison Square Garden main event in steel cage matches against Edge. So yeah, just to echo what you said there, Jinny, I think he's looking like a real strong favourite going into this match.
And Trent, we're heading into that sort of Rumble Mania season territory, and the person who walks away with the title from this match is going to be one of the ones with the target on their back as we go into this most crucial time in the WWE calendar.
This is the time when every single eye that has ever watched wrestling or sports entertainment, or the old fans that always remember like the glory days, everyone talks about Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And that 3 or 4 months, I think, is the most key 3 or 4 months, the most key period of time in any wrestler's career, where this is time to knuckle down, focus in, zone in, and really either chase what you need or hold on to what you've got.
Now, someone else on the Raw roster who's timed their arrival into the spotlight perfectly around this time of year is Liv Morgan, who has got a match with Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's title, the Raw Women's title. We caught up with her earlier this week to see how she was feeling ahead of that match.
I think leading up to Money in the Bank, I think that was the first time I really was just like, whoa, like they're here with me, like they are wanting this for me. It was like very one specific moment. It was a Monday Night Raw, and it was during a commercial break. I cut a promo to the crowd just talking about Money in the Bank and how this is, finally my time and I'm ready. And then they just broke out into "You Deserve It" chants, and it just filled my whole entire heart. And in that moment, I just was like they're on this journey with me, like they're here and they're wanting this. It was that very moment where I just was like, wow.
Do you think there was something that you figured out that made that final push happen? Something that you figured out how you perform or how you act?
No.
You don't know what it was?
No, I haven't figured anything out. No, I just honestly, I try to be myself, and I just try to do what feels right. And I love the fans so much. I love to relate to them. I love to let them know that, you know, I listen to them. I also watch them. And I think we just kind of have developed this organic relationship. You know, they've seen me grow. I've been in the WWE since I was 20 years old. I'm 27 now. You know, they just have seen me progress. And so I feel like they just feel like they have been on this journey with me, which they totally have. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for them.
Liv Morgan there talking about getting the fans on her side at the crucial time. That is what it's all about. We were talking about it just before the interview. It's all about making people either really love you at this time of year or making people really hate you at this time of year. And people are very much behind Liv at the moment. And this is a huge opportunity for her to springboard herself to the next level in her WWE career.
Absolutely. You know, Liv Morgan has been in WWE for quite a few years now. You know, we've seen what she's done in NXT. We've seen what she'd done prior to her singles run in Riot Squad. She always had something about her, but never almost took herself to the next level. And the fact that now the fans can see what potential she actually does have, it's huge, because going into a match against someone like Becky Lynch, who came back after having a child, came back, defeated Bianca Belair, took the title, and has been on an absolute tear ever since. You know, being in the title picture with her, that match alone is going to elevate her. But if she can go toe to toe with Becky, bring the best out in her, and also bring it to Becky and win that title, that's going to be huge for her. She's so young, and she's still so young as well. Even though she's been with WWE for such a long time, she's still so young in her wrestling career. And having fans behind you, you know, if they boo you, you know, it's going to push you one way, but having fans cheer you and wanting to see you succeed, that alone gives you such a buzz and a drive to want to be successful, to want to succeed. And if she can take that title from Becky Lynch, that's going to be huge. Because right now I look at the women's division, and everyone is talented, but you have to ask yourself, who can take that title? And right now it looks like, I'm not saying she's going to be the winner, because it's going to be a very difficult match, but right now it looks like she does have a very good chance.
I think the whole point of that kind of like rise of Liv Morgan is just watching someone who's enjoying what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? You can see it in her face when she wrestles. You can see it in her face when you see these cool training videos of her going down with Natty and Neidhart and stuff. And you can just see her enjoying wrestling, enjoying sports entertainment. She's just enjoying what she's doing. And I think that's when you've got almost the purest form of it. Then it's just when it comes from just a place of real enjoyment. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. She's enjoying the chase. She's enjoying her limelight. She's enjoying getting so much microphone time on, like, you know, on Raw. And I think she's killing it. I really do. I think she's doing a super job. Just to echo it though, I just don't know if it's enough to topple Becky Lynch. I really don't. But you know what? I wish her all the best, because she's such a cool kid and she deserves everything she gets. And you know, sometimes it's just nice to see people really, really enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah, a word for Becky as well. She's been undefeated with those titles, or that title, for such a long time now. If she gets through day one, if she gets through Rumble and still has it, she's on for something absolutely monumentally massive WrestleMania, isn't she? And it's kind of what we've come to expect of big time Becks, isn't it, Jinny?
It's not easy to be in that main event picture either. Not everyone is made, you know, to be at the top of the mountain. Not everyone can hold the championship. It takes a special type of person to say, I am number one in the division. And she does it so well. And also, I mentioned a few episodes ago, the new attitude that she has as well. You know, she doesn't really care about who's in her way. Judging by how she's been with Liv Morgan, she couldn't care less that she's got a match with her. She feels like she's got it all. But like I said, the passion from Liv Morgan seems to be overriding the cockiness from Becky Lynch at the moment. I feel like Becky knows she's good. She's been successful for such a long time, and it's almost got to her head, whereas Liv Morgan still has that passion. She's got that drive, and like you said as well, Trent, you know, she's enjoying it. We've seen videos of her when she was a young child, you know, having the makeshift title over her shoulder. She wants it, and I really feel like that passion, that drive, that fire under her could help her actually overcome Becky. And if she does, I said it before and I'll say it again, if you can take someone like Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair or Roman Reigns down, your career's done. It's amazing, and it will be a great moment for her.
Or talking of the joy that Liv is having in the ring, being infectious, Randy Orton is finding the joy that Riddle brings him infectious as well. RK Bro versus Street Profits, obviously happening at day one. And they are immensely watchable, RK Bro. They are one of my absolute highlights of Raw every week. I know, obviously, Jinny, everything involving Randy Orton's a highlight for you. Trent, I know it's been a big highlight for you watching them in the singles matches recently, putting on these clinics. How much are you seeing from Randy Orton that's almost feels different from any run he's had before, when he was been chasing titles, when he's been chasing main events? There's something different about him in this pairing with Riddle.
Well, maybe it's a bit similar to the Liv Morgan thing that we were just talking about. Maybe he's actually just kind of relaxing a little bit and just actually enjoying being out there. Do you know what I mean? He's always been such a serious, like, focused, calculated competitor. Do you know what I mean? The apex predator, and everything's always, you know, targeted in, and, you know, you can see there's a set structure of the way he's attacking each kind of match or feud or whatever. This one, you know, he's getting thrown blazers one day, he's getting thrown scooters the next, you know, he's wearing wigs one week. It just looks like he's just enjoying it, you know what I mean? Like, and you can see it in his eyes. You know, there's that little bit of a resentment, like, you know, I am Randy Orton, I'm the coolest wrestler of all time. Like, I don't know if I should be doing this. But, you know, Riddle's infectious, man. He's, you know, I do feel so pleased to have, you know, wrestled with him and toured with him and stuff like that before WWE. But now to see him and he just hasn't changed. You know, he's the same fun-loving guy. He's the same guy who just wants to make people laugh, entertain people. And, you know, he's the same guy that can go out there and kick your ass, you know, for 4 days in a row, and you wouldn't even know that it happened. You'd just be absolutely battered and bruised by him. He's, you know, he's a genuine ninja.
You always suspect with Randy Orton, you're only ever minutes away from him punt kicking his best mate in the head.
Exactly. Remember what he used to do, like, to Triple H, from those serious days to, like, now. It's literally like he's done a 180. But I feel like Randy Orton, deep down in him, he's grown up in this business. He knows the serious side of it. He's got a passion like only a few people can really truly have for the sport of wrestling. He's got that in him where he wants to be a little bit more serious, and I hope we do see it, because, you know, as much as he's enjoying it, I think the fans like to see that nasty side of him.
All right, then we will pick up on more of day one after the break, including talking about the big one, Roman v. Brock. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to The Run-In, where we are looking ahead to the day one pay-per-view event coming up on January 1st. I'm joined still by Jinny and Trent Seven from NXT UK. Now let's talk about Miz versus Edge. The Miz, he had a WWE title run, but it was completely unexpected and very, very short. It's been a while since we've seen him tap into his character like this, hasn't it?
I think through all of the stages of the Miz that I can ever remember from when he started, he's always been an absolute cantankerous little pillock. But that's the pillock that, you know, won the WWE Championship. It's the one that has, you know, main evented pay-per-view after pay-per-view. He makes money. Do you know what I mean? He's a huge draw for WWE, and he's done some incredible things. But this feud with Edge, I think it might. I don't know. I think it might be the most important, the biggest feud of Miz's career, especially, like you say, over the course of the last 3-4 years. You know, all the stuff with John Morrison and stuff, that was very funny, and it's very, you know, kind of like tongue in cheek. But you're stepping in there with Edge now, you know, radar superstar. This guy has got a clear schedule of what he wants to achieve before he finally re-hangs up the boots or whatever. So for us to see Edge versus Miz, there's got to be something there where Edge it looks like Edge has gone after him.
I feel like with Edge, because he's had, such a long time off because of the injury, he's now coming back and doing every single thing that he had on his list. He's doing it right now, which is a good thing. He's faced Seth Rollins, he's been in the title picture, etc. But I kind of like that he's going against the Miz, because Miz for me is someone who he feeds off his opponent. So, if he's in there with someone who's a little bit more lighthearted, he'll go in there, he'll get the job done in the ring, but it will be a light-hearted feud. But with someone like Edge, who's come back from an injury that was career-ending, who's so much more serious, so much more calculated and more driven, it's giving that energy to the Miz to make him step up as well, because he can do it. Like you said, he's been a world champion before, but he is such a talented individual that sometimes he can get lost in the shuffle. So with the fact that he's back now after doing Dancing with the Stars and exploring life outside of WWE, he's back, he's got his wife by his side, albeit that there's been a few slaps here and there, he's more serious, and I like it, because he is so talented, and it's nice to see that side of him. And I feel like this match will definitely deliver.
Every time we talk about Edge, I can't help but keep thinking about like the feuds that we've still yet to see. Those last couple of ones that you kind of want to think, those last couple of dream matches for Edge. Like, I think we were speaking earlier just off air, weren't we, about like AJ Styles, and just imagining like those kind of feuds running up towards WrestleMania or kind of like SummerSlam time, and like the amount of focus that there would be on that, and the promos and the depth that they could go into about how long they've been in the industry and stuff. He's just a wonderful, wonderful superstar, isn't he, Edge? And it'll be a very, very sad day when he does finally end up with things. But man, I'm enjoying it now, and I think this feud with Miz is going to be topped off absolutely perfectly.
Speaking of rivalries getting the best out of each other, we've got New Day versus the Usos, which is, I would say, and feel free to disagree with me, but in terms of modern tag team WWE wrestling, that is basically the greatest rivalry we've had since the Attitude Era.
Oh, absolutely. The dynamic there that you've got of having the WWE champion in the same group, but like not just standing there and kind of like running it and just, I'm the guy with the belt, so I'll just walk out first and I'll do all the stuff. Like, I think that is a perfect kind of like, that's a perfect example of just how unique New Day are.
Yeah, I think it's really important as well with the New Day, because they've been a group for such a long time, and we've seen them as, tag team champions. We've seen them have great matches, great rivalries. Now we can see them also as three individuals who come together. And I feel like sometimes for teams, that's the most important thing. Being an individual, but also being able to work together, it sets you apart from, a normal tag team that just work solely together well, but when they're on their own, they sort of struggle because they need that other person there. Whereas the New Day,
they almost rely on their partner a bit too much, like. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Whereas a New Day, they don't rely on each other. They're three strong individuals who are making history, and they can have successful runs on their own.
Yeah, very true.
The dynamic in that group, obviously echoed by the Usos, who have as the figurehead, the totem pole in that family, Roman Reigns, who has his own problem at day one. He's got Brock Lesnar wearing overalls in what I assume will be the main event for the Universal title. Brock Lesnar in overalls is the greatest form of Brock Lesnar. Discuss.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, the tiny ponytail that took us by surprise. There's no doubt about that. And then it was kind of like worker wear, like the check shirt, and then now he's just dropped what I can only imagine is a pair of 5XL overalls over his shoulders. I think it's just brilliant, and I hope it comes from from the place of, oh, I've got to go and do some wrestling now. I'm going to get dressed, and he's just put the clothes on that he just recently hand cut an entire 20-acre field of that day, And he just puts the clothes back on and just goes straight to the arena and just goes, right, I'm just going to F5 all of you dead. He's just unbelievable, isn't he? Like he could wear anything. But I keep thinking there's some kind of, is there any way that he can be like some kind of Mario, Super Mario Lesnar thing? I can't believe I haven't seen a meme of it yet. I really can't. I cannot believe I haven't seen a meme of like Super Lesnar Brothers or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just a different life to him now. You know, there's a smile on his face when he's coming down to the ring to beat people up. And I'll tell you what, that is a frightening thing to see. If I was in the ring and Brock Lesnar was coming down the ring and he was smiling on the way to beating me up, I think I'd be more worried than if he was just angry Brock Lesnar.
I don't give his fashion sense a fashion stamp of approval, but each to their own when it comes to that, because like Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar has that in him where we're seeing like the lighthearted side of him. We're seeing, you know, him enjoying his time because he's so confident in his ability in the ring that he doesn't need to take himself so seriously outside. He can enjoy, you know, he can enjoy wrestling. He's done so much in his career, you know, winning Royal Rumbles, winning titles, WrestleMania main events, now that he's actually just enjoying it. But again, like Brock Lesnar is that type of person who, when he comes back to WWE, he wants to be at the top.
Brock Lesnar, smiling, violent, and has a flip phone, the only remaining flip phone in 2021. That says it all, really. And the thing is, I know for a fact that with that flip phone, he could probably cut up the carcass of several huge wildebeest.
It's probably what he uses as a utensil to sheath his fields. But that's not the word. It's probably what he does when he puts. It's probably what he does to cut the corn down on his 20 acres just before he comes to the show. The guy is just an animal, man. He's the best. I think he might be the most, what's the word? Like, I can't not watch him. He's just must watch. The second he comes out, anything to do with him, you just really don't know. There was that little bit of a period of time where he had the title a few years ago, where, you know, I was looking at it and it was getting to the point where I was like, wow, okay, there's a lot of suplexes coming in there. You know, you could kind of, it was not getting a little bit samey, but there was a bit more of a prediction. Now he's just gone back to that absolute wildness. Like, no one knows what he's going to wear. No one knows how many characters he can see on a text at any one time because his screen on his phone is so small. He hasn't obviously got an Instagram. He doesn't know what the internet is. And he's just coming out there and he's just battering everyone and he's got a smile on his face, man. And that's dangerous. That is dangerous.
I have to also say as well, I think, you know, throughout Brock's career, he's always had Paul by his side. And I think deep down, no matter what, you know, Paul was working with Roman whilst Brock was away from WWE. You know, deep down, Brock Lesnar will always be a Paul Heyman guy. Yeah. So I feel, you know, it's going to ultimately, whether it be at day one, whether it be at Royal Rumble, whether it be at WrestleMania, I think we'll see the reunion of both Brock and Paul Heyman. And also, just to throw another little twist in there, who knows, like, this could be Paul Heyman's plan all along, you know, getting someone up to that level, you know, knowing that Brock Lesnar will potentially come back to WWE, and then, you know, being able to work his magic, get him straight away into that title picture. You never know. You never know, but
very clever.
Brock Lesnar will always be a Paul Heyman guy.
You never know. The only way, of course, to find out what happens is to watch day one. And that will be on BT Sport Box Office on January the 1st. Go to bt.com/sport box office for more information on how to buy that. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for. You can see more of Trent Seven and Jinny on NXT UK every Friday night on BT Sport. But until next time on The Run-In, enjoy your new year, stay safe, and enjoy the first ever day one pay-per-view. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.